Okay, if you truly want something, you'll definitely achieve it. But I want this presentation to start by asking only one question, which is, what is the real inspiration and who will give it to you? Okay, answers might be completely different because there are over the 40 or 35 people, and naturally, answers also are definitely different. But anyways, now I'm gonna make you to think about the person who you are or use it to get advice, not just only advice, but also motivation. So, please, 5 seconds is yours and start thinking. While you're thinking, I'll count up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and let me guess. Maybe for some of you, it might be your celebrity crush, like Emma Watson, right? Yeah, or let's say one of your book characters, like Harry Potter, or should I say Harry Potter? Okay, I'm not gonna mock the British accent actually, so last is probably your friend. But haven't we missed someone? I think yes, we have. And there's still one person, you know him and her so well. And I hope that every single of you have that person. You see? Your mom and your dad. And would you mind closing your eyes? Just imagine one situation where you are so eager to learn, to get something, but there's also one side that both whole population stands against you. What do you think? Would your parents join them? Yes or no? Absolutely no. But why? Answer is so simple. Because there is nothing more important and more valuable, also more expensive than you for them in the world. And you may ask, okay, Muborak, why are you talking about it with such rock-solid trust? Because I had already experienced it by my own. And let me share my emotional story with you. As being loyal to my personality, I'm likely to have a joke during this even emotional story. So, well, actually, if I'm mistaken, I was exactly 13-year-old girl and studied at school, not at school, at a distance, at the 7th grade, because of one of the most dangerous virus, which is known as COVID-19. And you know what? Now I'll show you how others study it. Maybe it might be like this, or next one, like this. They feels like dive into the lesson, but I bet you that mine version hits a difference. It was like this. It sounds like literally forced by someone, and guess what? That someone must be my mommy, actually. And next picture is also so relatable. During those online lessons, I often cried because they were not my cup of tea, and still they aren't. And my big apologies for those who work at school as a teacher. So, you know what? Despite I had got plenty of leisure time, but I had nothing to be this. And you may again ask, why didn't you just take up any hobby based on your preferences? Because despite I was born in a real close-knit family, which means everyone supported each other all the time, but they had also a little negative opinion about the girl studying, and that was the biggest problem of mine. But they never could be excused for me. Since I had a phone, I had a chance, and I decided to be in the search of online courses. And one day I found it. You can see how my reaction was like. I think I even screamed because I really don't care about what other people think about me. And yeah, I remember I sat in that course for exactly 6 months. And unfortunately, the decision of my English teacher, we stopped it. But fortunately, I got to know how to introduce myself and how to introduce my family. And most importantly, describe some places where I visited. Admittedly, they were not enough for me. And until I found an offline course, I was laughed at by my some relatives and even one of my classmates. Yes, do you believe or not, but she was my friend. One day, while we were hanging out with each other, my dead friend came and recommended her own teacher. By the way, she was also studying the English. But despite I knew the answer, and I died inside, but I was like, okay, if I have free time, I'll go there just to examine how your teacher teaches the children. And then she was like, what? Let me fix your word. Not when you have a free time, when you have a freedom. And my shock was in shock. And I was like, excuse me? Who told you about this? And after coming back home, I couldn't stop myself crying and crying again. And that time, naturally, my mommy noticed it immediately and got into my room and advised the two best things. And one of them is never lose my hope. And second one is make a dua to the God in every single day. And from that point on, I've been following those two advices. And at the time, I received that two advice as the real inspiration. Because there was also sometimes that my hope was fading and I was losing myself. And I even said, nah, English isn't for me anymore. But that time, there was my mom who never stopped it and tired of encouraging me, inspiring me, motivating me to pursue my goals. So I had to also wait and hope. Well, and one day I found an offline course which was quite near my home. And most importantly, it required a little money. The reason why I liked that course because my dad was becoming a bankrupt. And that time, everything was going fine, except the teacher's knowledge. It was not satisfying actually for me. And instead of using time-consuming strategies or techniques, or let's say the methods, and also wasting of my time, I preferred to quit and also to leave that course. But again, I never stopped. What I did was, as I had my vocabulary book, I developed one idea, which was the memorizing at least 10 words for each day. And it was also 1+ for my education. And one day, after the exactly 3 or 4 months, I got permission by my dad. And that time, I was so happy. You know what? How did he give a permission to me? It was actually because of my mommy. She helped me to get that permission from him. And also, her method was to inform my dad about girls studying success in every day. And step by step, little by little, we were able to shift my dad's mind and perspectives about this really serious topic, which is the girls studying. So, and he asked me one question at the time, which was about what is the main purpose of my dream and lifelong this ambition. And now I will tell one secret that learning English is something that I had been waiting it to absorb, to learn for 4 years. Can you believe that? Yes, it is a real story actually. And after staring at him for a few seconds, I answered and said that, Dad, please understand me. I am willing to learn English language not because to get a status among my classmates or to be accepted for kind of prestigious universities, but because not to be ashamed in front of my children when they ask me something about English in the future. And I also said him, if the woman is educated, the children will be educated. So after that, I started attending Nazira Khan teacher's course, and within a year, I got my IELTS certificate, but result is a bit frustrating. Maybe for others, it might be normal. It's a 6, but anyways, I'm happy for that. And I think that examiners weren't able to calculate my score correctly, and they just decided to give me 6, right? But I know what the real score is. Well, after that, this is the most favorite teacher. And okay, at the end, what am I going to mean and say by this story is, no matter who doubts you or stand against your dreams, if you stay determined and your parents will believe in you, nothing can stop you from reaching your goals. Thank you.